Okay, let's talk about how the internet has affected our social interactions, specifically with regards to sex and sex education.
It's done some good because the access, it's kind of like everyone's got a really big Encyclopedia Britannica that they can find anything they want all the time. But it's also been a problem because the way that a lot of people learn sex education, like they used to on the playground from their friends, didn't always have the best information. Now we just have a lot more of what might be disinformation floating around out there.
So it's more important than ever for parents to talk to their kids about how to figure out what is good, correct information on the internet and what bad information looks like, and to make sure they have enough sex education from their parents or from school or wherever they're getting it, that they're going to have some sense on their own, that the internet is not completely teaching them about sex.
But when I was 12, I would have killed for scarleteen.com.
Yeah.
I just seriously, I would have been so much help.
I think something that the internet has done that has maybe been a little bit negative would be it's, one, made it really, really easy to find sex and kind of eliminated a human connection that could be there. It's like ordering a pizza now. You can order in your Chinese food and you can order in some ass. I think it's kind of inhibited that, but I think it's also allowed some people who maybe would be a lot more terrified of making that first move. It's given them the ability to be a little bit more passive, flirt a lot longer, and then end up meeting in person. So,
What do you think about the predilection of so many people on dating websites, chat forums, and gaming communities to misrepresent themselves? Do you think that there's an inherent disingenuousness that comes with the anonymity of the internet?
It could be, you could misrepresent yourself, but at the same time, allowing yourself to be someone else allows for a lot of freedom as well, to role play, to play another character like you are in Warcraft.
Or to honestly talk about things that are happening in your relationship without having to be afraid that the people who are involved in those relationships are going to find out.
It's true, and I think that if you are on something like World of Warcraft or Second Life, and you think that you're actually talking to exactly who the person describes themselves as, you're maybe deluding yourself a little.
So it's not likely that one would be speaking to, let's say, a hairy blue monster with braces and a necktie.
Right. So I think that there's some suspension of disbelief that just goes hand in hand with entering some of those internet worlds, and that's what people are there for. And then I think that's fine. It's a different thing if you're regularly corresponding with someone and pretending to be a 23-year-old female when really you're a 45-year-old male, and now you have some kind of relationship.
Now, Kidder, as I understand it, you're the only one of the cast with children. Have your views changed on sex education since you became a father?
I don't think anything has really changed. I think that, if anything, I just find it more important for, I have a personally vested interest into researching what really good sex education is and what effective sex education is, because not all the sex education that might be good and accurate will make an impact. It's kind of like I'm trying to find the way to show my kids something that they'll actually take the advice. They'll actually take it, because sometimes kids don't listen to their parents, even though they're giving them really good information.
I listen to my parents all the time.
What are some of your hopes for the future of sex and sex education?
I really want to take what we've done with the graphics and the art and make something that is age appropriate for teenagers, but goes much further than anything anyone's ever seen before, and have it be digestible. And answer all the questions that I had when I was a teenager that I had to dig for answers. I want to just give that away so that people have great information. And I don't want to read a lot of lengthy articles. I just want to look at pictures and read a little blurb and have it be like a comic book. I think that's the way to do it. And that's what I want to make.
I would love to see more comprehensive sex ed in schools, comprehensive, age-appropriate sex ed. I'd love to see parents talking to their children more about sex education. I'd love to see people talking to their friends more about what's going on in their sex lives and questions about their sexual identities or how they want to be a sexual person. I would love to see more funding for research on sex, and not just things like research on AIDS or STIs, although of course that's very important, but I'd love to see more research on all kinds of aspects of sex. And I'd love to see pleasure become less of a dirty word that's disrespected or just not respected in many aspects.
To add to what Laura Rad said, I have hopes that in the future the sex positive attitude will overrun all other attitudes and help people to openly, honestly communicate about their desires with their partners, their friends.
I would really like to see a lot more sex positivity, especially in the GLBT community. I think with sex positivity, you're going to see STD and HIV rates drop. And I think that addressing a lot of mental health needs, including eliminating shame and guilt associated with the type of sex that you're having, is really going to be impactful. So that's my goal, and I think it's a realistic goal too.
Well, it has certainly been a privilege to have had you all on to speak with our viewers. I hope that this can be the beginning of a long and fruitful conversation.
Thank you. Please
Yes,
invite us
thank you.
back.
Yes.
Thank you.
And I hope you had as much fun as I did, because, as you know, sex is fun.
Play with it.
Indeed. Thank you, and fare thee well.